Welcome to East Hartford. This is the normal time of year when we've already had more than one storm. We had a little bit of a snow up in northwest Connecticut, but we were fortunate about that. Each and every year, the department is really moving forward in its innovation and best practices in how we deal with conditions throughout the winter. If you remember last year, we issued a report done by CASE on best practices, and Connecticut rated very, very highly in our innovation on the materials we put down, the practices we take. And each and every year, we're investing in different types of equipment to handle our storms. All this around sort of reinventing the way we do business as part of our commitment to advancing the transportation system and its condition in the state of Connecticut. The resources that we've had available to us are in no small way due to the governor's commitment to transportation, capital funds to purchase equipment, and manpower to deploy that equipment. So first, a shout out to those people who do the job every day. Thanks for what you do. And then second, a very strong shout out to the governor who makes it all happen for us. It's my pleasure to introduce Governor Malloy.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for together. I very much appreciate it. As you know, we did have a storm condition out in Litchfield County, so it snuck up on us, but maybe is a demonstration of why we are having this meeting today, or this press conference today. We have invested, I think, mightily in our equipment and modernizing that equipment so the best operators and drivers in the country can have the best equipment in the country as well. Just to put it in perspective, if you talk about lane miles, we have 10,800 state lane miles that we have to clear in a storm. And so when we have a storm that covers the whole state, that's a monumental task. Quite frankly, just a few years ago, we didn't have the equipment that was up to that task. But as I stand here today, we have 634 pieces of equipment to help us clear snow. Some of the most innovative equipment is arrayed before you. We started with an original purchase of 3 of these snow eater machines that throw the snow, particularly off bridges, quite far. We're now up to 15 of those. We have the double angle truck that we introduced to you all last year, and this year we have a tandem 2-lane plow system which is arrayed before you, and if you want, I think they're going to demonstrate, if you want to go over to Rensselaer Field to see how it works, to go see how it works. Bottom line is we are ready. That 634 pieces of equipment are spread out in 50 different locations in our state. We have the stuff to put on the roads. We have the equipment to clear the roads. Now, this is the point that I'd like to make. We need the public's cooperation. Obviously, if you don't have to be on the road in a snowstorm, don't be on the road. But with all this new equipment that we have, we're also asking people to be very aware of that equipment and what our capabilities are. We can clear a lot faster than we ever could, so waiting to take that trip makes a lot of sense, and staying away from that equipment makes a lot of sense. I think that's one of the big things we want to urge people to do. If you see a double plow, stay well behind it. Don't assume you can pass it because it's a double plow. And so we want that level of cooperation as well. I will also point out that in acquiring this new equipment, we've used different ways to do it with master requests for proposals on equipment that have actually lowered our cost of equipment. And then if you combine the lower cost of the equipment with the better ability to remove snow and ice, we actually have gigantic savings that we're seeing realized in this department because of that. Now, savings, you might argue, are measured by how many storms you have in a given year, but I'm talking about how much we can clear in a given hour. And in that case, we're having substantial savings because of the lower cost of equipment and because that equipment can do more than it's ever done in our state. And that's why we decided to have you out here. Did I cover everything?
I think so.
Did I get it right?
You got it right.
All right. I'll take some questions on point, and then I understand some of you have other questions. So on point? Sure. They're going to show it to you, but I guess that doesn't make, in your line of work, it doesn't make any difference, does it? So what happened? You want to do it? Go ahead.
Jim Chupas, come on up. Jim is the guy responsible for this equipment, and he's best to describe it to you, but it's a pretty simple operation once you understand it. So I'm going to turn you over to the expert. Jim?
The tow plow you see behind you here, you see the two sets of axles on the trailer. There's a control in the truck that actually steers the axles. So this one right here will steer to the right and move the plow out to the right. It's a very simple operation. There's two controls that run the whole plow, the steer and the up and down of the plow. It's pretty simple.
So does it drag along on the back side of the truck?
Yes.
So it drags in this direction and then angles out and plows off to the side.
Were there any, I hate to bring this up, but were there any union issues with one driver handling the work of actually three drivers? Did they have to be trained differently?
Well, there's obviously training for this piece of equipment for anybody who's driving it, but we provide that training, and our operators are actually thrilled with all the new equipment we're getting. So our force is completely on board with this and the use of new technology, as they were when we introduced the snow blowers, which actually makes their job easier, not harder. So in some sense, this is a betterment for the workforce because we're improving conditions of the equipment that they're using. So no, it's been accepted, well accepted, so we'll have 3 this year, and we hope to expand a couple more for this area of the state next year.
And they're going to be deployed on the 95, 91?
That's correct, for this year, and we hope to come up to 84 maybe next year.
Let me say a couple other things on the point that you just raised. You know, I've been out in some of these storms with some of our drivers, and they like the new equipment. So yes, we have to train, but they like better heated cabs. They like better lit equipment. They like safer equipment. They like the ladders higher up. I mean, all of those things are widely accepted and applauded, at least by the. And I don't think I got set up with anybody who was just going to tell me what I wanted to hear. People like the new equipment.
So now, instead of seeing 3 plow trucks plowing the interstate, we'll just see 1 with this mannequin. So you're actually plowing with a plow on the front and the 2 on the side.
That's correct. So that would take 3 traditional snow plows to do what this plow plus a tow plow will do. To put that in perspective, 3 plows cost about $480,000. This unit with a truck is about $280,000. So, you know, a little bit less, a little bit more than half, but a significant reduction in capital expense per lane mile to clear.
And it's like, I mean, when you get behind them, they stagger. There's 1, 2, and 3. This is going to look the same way, right?
Yeah, it's not dissimilar from the lineup that you see from time to time on 95 or 91 in particular, where 3 trucks are staggered and clear the road. This will be able to do that in and of itself. Other questions on? Yes?
What do you do with the
Well, this equipment can be set up and turned on and turned off and the like. And again, there's 3 of these. We have 634 pieces of equipment. So we have equipment that matches the circumstances, the width of the road, all of that.
I think fantastic if there's a breakdown, like in the left lane, the driver can push the plow back to go by it and then bring it back.
Sure. So this can come in and out if you need to, just like a regular plow can be moved. So that's not a problem for this. But again, it's only going to be deployed on major 3-lane highway systems like 91, 95, and 84.
So when they pull it up a ramp, obviously it's not deployed. Then they stop in the middle of the highway and deploy.
It's deployed in motion, right? So
It can while it's moving.
well, it has to move because the axles are actually turning to move it. So it moves as the truck moves.
This is not the only story. The only story, I think, this is an interesting piece of equipment, is that we've modernized the fleet very extensively and continue to do that because it's cost effective to do that, and it's safer, and it does a better job. That's what we're trying to. And quite frankly, I want to remind people that snow's coming. We've seen a little snow or a lot of snow in a couple of towns in Litchfield. It's going to come. We're going to get it. You know, everyone who's arrayed before me will report the first big storm, right? And we know we'll have more accidents generally in the first big storm than we'll have in subsequent storms as people recoup their ability to drive in the stuff that they have missed for 9 months. You know?
What is the average rating of the fleet commissioner? What direction is that going in? Is it getting below the fleet?
So we're The average age of a replacement age should be about 12 years. So we're trying to keep pace with that. So about half the fleet is beyond that and half below that. And so we're keeping track with that as best we can. So generally the fleet is meeting standards for an average age of fleet around the country. Yeah, right. So, but as we do it, right, we're purchasing equipment that meets higher standards. We're purchasing more efficient fleet, and we're purchasing equipment to augment that, like the snow blowers, so that in the end, the time it takes for us to do the job is shortened.
You'll remember that we sent a bunch of snow blowers up to New York State when they had a big lake effect storm that lasted, I guess, the better part of 5 days. So.
And to Washington.
And to Washington.
How many snow
15 now.
15 now?
Yep, 15. Great piece of equipment. All right, anything else on point? All right, anything else? No, I just, what I've said actually for 6 years now is I can't imagine a Hartford or quite frankly the state of Connecticut without an Excel Center or its equivalent. Its equivalent new built could run $1 billion. This is one of the older facilities, but interestingly enough, is designed in such a way that we could actually modernize that facility for far less money. So I know there's going to be a hearing tonight. People are going to look at. Well, first of all, this is an investment. I think the original investment in the Excel Center, we spent some money to kind of keep it going for a few years, but that's not going to last. This is one of the older facilities of its type in the country. So we're trying to figure out if there's a way, and we think there is, to modernize that community and region at a cost-effective price. That's financed over a number of years, just as an addition to your house or a modernization of your house. A new roof or an air conditioning system might be spread out over a number of years. Again, I think the option is closing it. And I think that would be bad for the state, bad for the Hartford metropolitan area. It drives a lot of traffic, it drives a lot of business, it supports a lot of business. I don't hear anyone advocating closing it. Well, not all of it. It's over a period of years. Anything else? Okay. Great. Thanks, everybody. Take care. I wasn't going to.
Yep. I was a physics major.
It's actually, you can, they put salt in them too. Salt. Yeah, so he'll actually put plow and salt. And the new ones are coming in with the liquid chemicals too. So he'll do whatever he needs.